My obsessed neighbor stalked me, blackmailed my family, and revealed I'm adopted, all to steal my house because she's related to my bio mom. She broke in and vanished, but when we tracked her down, the revenge and redemption changed everything. I'm a 28-year-old woman, and I never imagined I'd be sharing a story like this, but my life has spiraled into a complete nightmare because of my neighbor, who I'll call Karen, a 45-year-old woman. We've lived next door to each other for about 5 years in a quiet suburban neighborhood. At first, she seemed friendly enough, always waving hello, even bringing over baked goods now and then. My husband, Mike, who's 30, and I bought our house right after we got married. It's our dream home. We poured our hearts into renovating it, creating a beautiful garden, the whole 9 yards. Karen, on the other hand, lives alone after her divorce a couple of years ago. Her 2 kids are in college now, leaving her with plenty of free time on her hands. Things took a strange turn about a year ago. Karen started showing up at our door unannounced, asking to borrow random items or just checking in. She'd linger on our porch, asking invasive questions about our marriage, our jobs, and even our sex life once. I laughed it off as awkward but harmless at the time. Mike figured she was just lonely, so we'd occasionally invite her over for barbecues. Looking back, that was a huge mistake. Her behavior escalated when she began openly flirting with Mike. I'd catch her touching his arm, laughing too loudly at his jokes, or accidentally dropping by when I wasn't home. Mike assured me he shut it down politely, but she didn't take the hint. One day, I came home early to find her in our kitchen, casually making coffee like she owned the place. Mike explained she'd knocked, claiming her power was out, which it wasn't, and he let her in to wait. I confronted her right then and there, telling her it was inappropriate and asking her to leave. She burst into tears, accusing me of being paranoid and insisting she was just being neighborly. After that, she avoided me but kept waving at Mike like nothing had happened. Then came the rumors. I have a close-knit family, my parents in their 60s, my 26-year-old brother, and my 32-year-old sister with her husband and kids. We all live within an hour's drive, so we see each other often. Out of nowhere, my sister called me one day, asking if everything was okay between Mike and me. Apparently, Karen had friended her on Facebook after meeting at a family gathering and messaged her, claiming she was worried about me because I was acting erratic and pushing Mike away. My sister found it odd but brushed it off until Karen sent more messages, alleging she'd seen Mike packing bags as if he were leaving me. I was livid. I marched over to Karen's house and demanded she stop contacting my family. She played innocent, saying she was just concerned because she'd heard us arguing, which we hadn't. I blocked her on everything and told Mike we were done playing nice. But it didn't stop there. Karen started telling other neighbors I was abusive to Mike, claiming I'd thrown things at him and that she feared for his safety. One neighbor even approached Mike, asking if he needed help getting out of our marriage. The real blow came last month. My parents showed up at our house unannounced for what they called an intervention. They sat us down and said Karen had called them, crying, claiming she'd witnessed me cheating on Mike with some guy from work. She even described a car that wasn't mine parked in our driveway late at night. My parents believed her because Karen had proof blurry photos of a shadow in our window or some nonsense like that. Mike and I were stunned. I explained everything, detailing how Karen had been harassing us, but my mom kept saying, well, she seems so genuine. Why would she lie? It gets worse. Karen had somehow dug into my past. I had a rough patch in college, dated a bad news guy, got into some debt, nothing criminal but embarrassing stuff I don't talk about. Somehow, she found out and started whispering to my family that I had a history of instability. My brother confronted me, asking if I'd really stolen money from my ex, which I hadn't. It was a misunderstanding cleared up years ago. I felt so betrayed that my family was even entertaining this garbage from a stranger. Mike and I decided to get a restraining order. We documented everything, texts, emails, witness statements from neighbors who'd seen her lurking. The police said it was borderline stalking and advised us to install cameras. We did, and sure enough, we caught her on video sneaking into our backyard at night, peering through our windows. When we showed the footage to my family, they finally started to believe me, though my dad still said, maybe she's just lonely. Don't be too hard on her. Now, Karen's taken things even further. She's filed complaints with the city about our unkempt property, which is spotless, and she's telling everyone I'm mentally unwell. My sister admitted Karen offered her dirt on me if she'd help convince my parents to side with her. What the hell? I feel like I'm losing my mind. Am I the asshole for wanting to sue her or something? Has anyone dealt with a crazy neighbor like this? I just want my life back. Update 1. Okay, things have gotten way worse since my original post. Thank you to everyone who commented, your advice on security and legal steps was a lifesaver. We got the restraining order approved last week, and Karen was served papers. She completely freaked out, banging on our door and screaming that we were ruining her life. The cops came and escorted her away, warning her to stay off our property. But that's not the twist. While all this was happening, my family started acting shady. My mom called me in tears, saying Karen had shown up at their house, which is outside the restraining order's jurisdiction since it doesn't apply to them. Karen told my parents I was the one harassing her, and get this, she claimed I had a secret child from my college days that I'd abandoned. What the actual hell? I've never been pregnant, let alone had a kid. My parents didn't believe it at first, but Karen had documented some fake birth certificate or something with my name on it. She must have forged it or pulled it from an online scam site. I drove to my parents' place immediately. My dad was pacing, my mom was in tears, and they demanded an explanation. I lost it, yelling that Karen was a liar and they were foolish for believing her over their own daughter. That's when my brother showed up and dropped a bomb. He'd been talking to Karen too. Apparently, she reached out to him months ago, pretending to be a concerned friend, feeding him stories about how Mike was unhappy and I was controlling. My brother admitted he'd been spying on us for her, driving by our house, reporting back if he saw anything suspicious. He claimed he did it because he was worried about me, but it felt like pure betrayal. We had a massive family blowout. My sister defended me, calling my brother an idiot, but my parents were torn. They kept saying, family sticks together, but Karen has evidence. What evidence? It's all lies. Mike was there too, and he confronted my brother, asking why he'd betray us like that. My brother broke down, admitting Karen had promised him money, something about connections to help with his business loans. She's not even rich, how could she promise that? I stormed out, telling them I was done until they cut Karen out completely. On the drive home, Mike confessed something that shattered me. He said Karen had tried to kiss him a few months back, and when he rejected her, she threatened to make his life hell by telling me lies about him cheating. He didn't tell me because he thought it'd blow over. I was furious, why hide that? We argued all night, and now our marriage is on shaky ground. The next day, our cameras caught Karen's car driving by slowly, even though she's not supposed to come near. We reported it, but the police said it's not a violation unless she stops. I'm scared she's planning something bigger. My family is divided, my sister's on my side, but my brother and parents are still talking to her. How do I fix this? Am I the asshole for cutting them off? Update 2. Holy crap, you guys, I can't believe what just happened. After my last update, I took your advice and hired a private investigator to dig into Karen's background. It cost a pretty penny, but Mike and I agreed it was necessary. The pie came back with gold, and some truly horrifying revelations. First, Karen isn't who she claims to be. Her real name is something else, I'll call her Carla for this, and she has a history of this kind of behavior. Turns out, she was involved in a similar situation with her ex-husband's family before their divorce. She stalked his new girlfriend, spread rumors, even faked documents to try to get custody of their kids. There are court records of restraining orders against her from 2 previous neighbors in different states. She's basically a professional manipulator. But the real gut punch? The pie found connections between Karen and my family that predate us moving here. Remember how I said my family is close-knit? Well, my dad had a brief affair years ago, before I was born, and my mom forgave him. It's a family secret we never discuss. Somehow, Karen knew about it. The pie traced emails where she'd been in contact with an old family friend who spilled the beans. She used that to blackmail my parents, threatening to expose the affair publicly if they didn't help her expose me. That's why my parents were so quick to believe her. They were terrified. My mom confessed when I confronted them with the pie's report. She said Karen showed up at their door with proof of the affair, old letters or photos, and threatened to leak it unless they convinced me to sell our house to her? Apparently, Karen's obsessed with our property because it has some historical value. Our house sits on a plot that used to be part of a larger estate she claims her family owned generations ago. It's insane, she wants to force us out so she can buy it cheap or something. My dad broke down, apologizing profusely, saying they were terrified of the scandal resurfacing. My brother was in on it too. Karen had dirt on him from his college days, he got caught cheating on exams, and it was hushed up. She promised to keep quiet if he helped her spy. My sister was the only one in the dark, and she's livid now. I felt utterly betrayed. We had another family meeting, this time with the pie's evidence laid out. My parents begged for forgiveness, promising to cut Karen off and support the restraining order. My brother admitted everything, saying he was desperate for the business help she dangled, which was a lie. she's broke. Mike and I are trying to work through his secrecy, but it's tough. We went to the police with the new info, and they're investigating Karen for forgery, stalking, and blackmail. She got wind of it and left a voicemail on my phone, violating the order, ranting that I was stealing her legacy and that she'd make sure everyone knew my real secrets. What real secrets? I thought that was it, but the pie hinted there's more, something about my birth or family history that Karen uncovered. Now, my family's rallying around me, but the damage is done. Karen's gone quiet, which scares me even more. Is she planning revenge? Am I the asshole for exposing all this to the family, even if it meant dragging up old skeletons? Update 3. I don't even know where to start. This has spiraled into something straight out of a thriller novel, and I'm shaking as I share this. After the last update, the police arrested Karen for violating the restraining order and the blackmail attempts. She was released on bail, but we thought that was the end, at least for a while. We were wrong. 2 days ago, I got an anonymous package in the mail. Inside was a stack of old photos, letters, and what looked like adoption papers. The note read, "You think you know your family? Ask your parents about the truth." My heart stopped. The papers claimed I was adopted, that my biological mother was some woman who'd had an affair with my dad, and that my mom raised me as her own to cover it up. There were photos of a woman who looked eerily like me, dated around my birth year. I confronted my parents immediately. They turned pale and admitted it was true. My dad did have that affair, and the woman got pregnant with me. She didn't want the baby, so my parents took me in, and my mom pretended to be pregnant to avoid scandal. They've kept it secret my whole life, even from my siblings. My brother and sister were as shocked as I was when we all sat down to discuss it. But how did Karen know? The pie dug deeper and found out Karen is distantly related to my biological mother, like a second cousin or something. That's why she's obsessed with our house. Apparently, my bio-mom's family has some claim to the land from way back, and Karen's been researching genealogy to try to sue for it. She moved next door on purpose after tracing me through online records. The stalking, the lies, the family manipulation, it was all to destabilize us, force us to sell, and claim the property. My family is in pieces. My siblings are reeling from the secret, my parents are guilt-ridden, and Mike is supportive but overwhelmed. We've lawyered up to fight any potential claim Karen might make, but she's vanished, skipped bail, according to the police. They think she's holed up somewhere, planning her next move. Last night, our security alarm went off. Nothing was taken, but the back door was jimmied open, and there was a note left on the kitchen table. "This house is mine. Get out or else." The police are on it, but I'm terrified. What if she comes back? What other secrets does she have? My whole life feels like a lie, and I don't know who to trust anymore. I need advice. Should we move? Sue for everything? And how do I forgive my family for hiding this? This isn't over. Update 4. I can't thank you all enough for the support in the comments. It's been my lifeline through this hell. After the break-in, Mike and I didn't sleep a wink. We barricaded the doors, kept the lights on, and I clutched the baseball bat like it was my new best friend. The police dusted for prints, but they came back with nothing conclusive. Karen, or Carla, whatever her real name is, must have worn gloves. They issued an arrest warrant for skipping bail, and the detective on our case, a no-nonsense woman named Detective Harris, told us they were treating it as escalated stalking with intent to harm. "She's unhinged," Harris said, "but we'll find her. In the meantime, consider staying somewhere else." We crashed at my sister's place that night. She and her husband were amazing, her kids even drew me pictures to scare away the bad lady. But being there just amplified the family drama. My sister pulled me aside in the kitchen, her eyes red from crying. "I can't believe Mom and Dad kept this from us," she whispered. "You're still my sister, blood or not, but how do we move past this? And your brother? God, what an idiot." Speaking of my brother, he texted me that morning, "Sis, I'm so sorry. I was stupid and scared. Karen had me convinced you'd forgive me if I just helped a little. Please talk to me." I didn't respond. Betrayal like that doesn't vanish overnight. Mike was furious too. He kept muttering about how my brother had basically been Karen's spy, feeding her info that let her dig deeper into our lives. The next day, we met with our lawyer, Mr. Patel, who's handling the potential property claim. He reviewed the genealogy stuff the pie uncovered and laughed, actually laughed. "This is nonsense," he said. "Her claim is based on some 19th century land dispute that's been settled for generations. No court would entertain it. But with the blackmail and forgery, we can countersue for defamation, emotional distress, and more. If we find her, she'll be buried in legal fees." That gave me some hope, but the fear lingered. What if she was watching us right now? Mike suggested we amp up security, more cameras, motion lights, even a guard dog. We adopted a rescue German Shepherd named Max the very next day. He's a big, goofy boy, but his bark could wake the dead. Then, the first big twist hit. Detective Harris called. They'd traced Karen's phone to a motel about 2 hours away, but when they raided it, she was gone. Left behind? A laptop. On it, they found a gold mine, emails, forged documents, and a diary of sorts where she ranted about reclaiming what's mine. But the shocker? There were messages between her and my biological mother. Yes, the woman who'd given me up. Apparently, bio-mom, let's call her Elaine, had reached out to Karen years ago after doing her own genealogy search. Elaine wanted nothing to do with me but spilled details about the affair and the adoption to clear her conscience. Karen latched onto it, twisting it into this obsession with the house, convinced it was part of her family's lost inheritance because Elaine's great-grand-something owned land nearby. I felt sick reading the transcripts Harris shared. Elaine wrote things like, "That child was a mistake, but if there's money in it, go for it." No warmth, no regret, just cold calculation. It hit me hard. I'd always known my family wasn't perfect, but this? Mike held me as I cried, whispering, "You're not defined by her. You're ours." My parents came over that evening, looking like they'd aged a decade. Mom hugged me tight, tears streaming. "We should have told you," she said. "But we loved you from the moment we held you. You were never a secret to us, you were our miracle." Dad nodded, his voice breaking. "I messed up back then, but raising you was the best thing I ever did. We're done with secrets. All of them." It was emotional, lots of hugging, crying, and finally, some laughter when Dad joked about how Max slobbered all over his shoes. My sister joined, and we had an impromptu family dinner. My brother showed up uninvited, sheepish and carrying flowers. "I know I don't deserve it," he said, "but Karen manipulated me. She had proof of my college cheating scandal and threatened to send it to my boss." I panicked. "But spying on you? That was wrong. I'll do anything to make it right, testify, whatever." I didn't forgive him right away. "You chose money over family," I snapped. "How do I trust you again?" He hung his head, and Mike stepped in, saying, "Give him a chance to prove it. We're all unraveling this mess together." We agreed to a family therapy session, the first one scheduled for next week. It's a start toward redemption, I guess. Betrayal stings, but seeing everyone rally felt like a weight lifting. Still, Karen was out there. We weren't safe yet. Update 5. Buckle up, because this update is where things get real, and revenge starts tasting sweet. A few days after the family reconciliation, the pie called with more dirt. He'd been tailing leads on Karen's whereabouts and discovered she'd been crashing with a distant relative in a nearby town. But get this, that relative was Elaine, my bio-mom. They were holed up in a rundown cabin Elaine owned, plotting. The pie overheard them arguing, Karen screaming about how the girl me was stealing her legacy, and Elaine yelling back that she wanted no part in the crazy schemes anymore. We tipped off Detective Harris, who coordinated with local PD. They raided the cabin at dawn. Karen tried to run, bolted out the back door in her pajamas, but tripped over a tree root and face planted. Elaine surrendered immediately, spilling everything to avoid charges. Turns out, Elaine had been feeding Karen info for months, including details about my life she'd gleaned from public records and social media. In exchange, Karen promised her a cut of whatever inheritance she clawed back from the house. But Elaine got cold feet when things turned criminal. Karen was arrested on the spot, charges piled up: stalking, blackmail, forgery, breaking and entering, violating the restraining order, and now conspiracy. Elaine got slapped with accessory charges but is cooperating for a plea deal. The police body cam footage? Pure gold. Karen wailing, "That house belongs to my bloodline. She's not even their real daughter." It was unhinged, and hearing it made me laugh through tears. Finally, proof she was the villain, not me. With Karen in custody, we breathed easier. Max settled in like a champ, and our home felt like ours again. But I wasn't done. Revenge? Oh, yes. Mr. Patel filed the lawsuit that afternoon, suing Karen for everything: emotional distress, defamation, legal fees, even lost wages from the stress that made me take time off work. The judge froze her assets, including her house next door. Turns out, she's in massive debt from her previous escapades, so she'll likely have to sell to pay us. The cherry on top? I reached out to Elaine. Not for closure, screw that, but to serve her papers too. We're suing her for aiding and abetting. She called me, voice trembling, I never meant for this. I just wanted to forget you existed. Harsh, but it fueled me. Well, now you won't forget, I said. See you in court. Click. It felt empowering, like reclaiming my narrative. Family-wise, therapy started strong. In our first session, my brother opened up about his insecurities, always feeling like the screw-up compared to me and my sister. Karen preyed on that, he admitted. Dad shared more about the affair, how it nearly destroyed them, but Mom's forgiveness saved the family. Mom looked at me and said, "You're my daughter in every way that matters. Biology doesn't change that." We all cried, but it was healing. My sister joked, "Next time, let's uncover secrets over wine, not through a psycho neighbor." Even Mike joined a session, addressing how his secrecy hurt our trust. We're working on it, date nights, open talks, and our marriage is stronger for it. As for the house? No claim holds water. Mr. Patel confirmed it's ours free and clear. We're even thinking of expanding the garden, maybe adding a pool. Karen's trial is set for next month, and I'll be there, testifying with my head held high. But wait, there was one more twist. During the raid, police found Karen's war room in the cabin, walls covered in photos of me, Mike, my family. Creepy timelines, fake IDs, even a burner phone with text to my brother. But hidden in a drawer? A letter from Elaine to my dad, dated right after my birth. It said, "Take her and never contact me again. She's your problem now." Reading it hurt, but it also closed a chapter. I burned it in our backyard fire pit, with Mike by my side. To new beginnings, he toasted. Is there redemption? For my family, yes. We've bonded over this nightmare, secrets aired and forgiven. My brother's making amends, helped Mike install a new security system, no strings attached. My parents are planning a family vacation, no drama allowed. Am I the asshole for going full revenge mode? Hell no. Karen tried to destroy us, we rebuilt stronger. If anything, she gave me the push to face truths I'd never known. Life's not perfect, but it's mine again. Final update. It's been a few months since everything exploded, and I wanted to wrap this up for everyone who's followed along. Thank you, from the bottom of my heart, for the advice, the empathy, and even the tough love in the comments. You've helped me navigate this insanity. Karen's trial wrapped up last week. She pled guilty to most charges to avoid a longer sentence: stalking, blackmail, forgery, breaking and entering. The judge didn't buy her sob story about family legacy and sentenced her to 5 years, with parole possible after 3. She'll also pay restitution, her house sold at auction, proceeds going to us for damages. We got a hefty sum, enough to pay off our mortgage and then some. Elaine took a plea, probation and community service, plus a no-contact order. She sent a half-assed apology letter through her lawyer: "I regret my involvement." Whatever. I shredded it. The neighborhood? Word spread fast. Other neighbors came forward with their own Karen stories, petty complaints, weird lurking. One even said she'd tried to flirt with their husband years ago. We threw a block party to celebrate her being gone. It was cathartic, laughing about the crazy lady next door over burgers. Family drama settling. Therapy's ongoing, but we're closer than ever. My brother redeemed himself big time. When his business hit a snag, unrelated to this mess, he didn't ask for help, he figured it out, proving he's changed. We had a heart-to-heart. "I was jealous of you," he confessed. Always the golden child. I hugged him. We're all flawed. Let's just be better. My sister and I are planning a girls' trip, and my parents? They're doting grandparents-to-be. Wait, did I bury the lead? Yes. Mike and I found out I'm pregnant. It happened amid the chaos, but we're over the moon. We told the family at a dinner, and the tears were happy ones. "This baby's got the best aunts, uncles, and grandparents," Mike said, toasting. No more secrets, just love. As for me? I've started a blog about dealing with stalkers and family secrets, anonymized of course. It's therapeutic, and it's helping others. The house is thriving, Max guards it like a pro, the garden's blooming, and we've added a nursery. Redemption came full circle when my dad pulled me aside. "You handled this with grace we didn't deserve. I'm proud of you." I smiled. We all deserve second chances. Life's not a thriller anymore, it's peaceful. If Karen taught me anything, it's that truth sets you free, even if it's messy. Thanks, Reddit. Signing off for good.